You are Locked On 76ers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
How about that? 4 wins in a row for your 10-9-8 76ers, their second 4-game winning streak of the season. Feels like a long time since we've been able to enjoy 4 consecutive Sixers wins. It's awesome to see. Welcome into the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On 76ers Postcast. It is great to have you along for the ride. For those that joined me last night, I am still battling the flu, trying my darndest to battle through, to continue to battle through for you, and got to break down the 76ers Kings game tonight, because this was a little bit of a revenge game for the Sixers. They go back to the start of the month when they faced the Kings, and the Kings had a late surge that ended up blowing the Sixers away. Domantas Sabonis went out there and just dominated, especially in that fourth quarter, got every rebound and really was setting up his teammates, had a handful of assists as well. Another great assist night for him tonight, as a matter of fact, 11, as he finished with a triple-double. But the Sixers needed to go back and get this victory. And what did they do tonight? They went out and they got this victory. The start of the third quarter was a little scary. Kings went on a big run after the Sixers had a great finish there in the second half. Tyrese Maxey going off a little bit, especially in the late stages of that second half. Then the Kings come out to start the second half, and then they start rolling. They build about an 8-point lead. They start things out with a 21-8 run in the early goings of that third quarter. But the Sixers withstood that and then kept chipping away. And then sooner rather than later, momentum was on their side, thanks in large part to Tyrese Maxey doing his thing. Kyle Lowry contributing the most he's contributed in a long time for the Sixers lineup, injury or no injury. And Ricky Council, for the third straight night, second straight night, continued to help the Sixers off the bench. Talked at length last night about how he was sent down quickly and then brought right back up, the two-way deal there with the Blue Coats, and he really helped the Sixers to a victory last night over LeBron and the Lakers. Well, he did the same exact thing tonight, and there was one part of the game that I thought he was going to help the momentum shift back in favor of the Kings. But the Sixers teammates, his Sixers teammates, were right there to pick him up. We'll cover it all. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On 76ers Postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia. We do have to tell you that we do have a newsletter. That's right. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing Locked On 76ers Daily Newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. To start your day with the all-new free Locked On 76ers newsletter. Let's start it out as we always do with 3 big things. Number 1, where else do you start other than Tyrese Maxey? 12 straight nights where he gets at least 28 points in the game. Gets another 30-piece tonight after his 40-plus point performance just last night. This is a guy that right now is simply not letting his team lose basketball games. That's what Tyrese Maxey's bringing to the court every single night. And I caught a little bit of what he had to say in his post-game interview there on NBC Sports Philadelphia about how he had to grow up. And there's been so many instances throughout his career where I know I have highlighted moments in his career where he's got to take that next step forward. One of the biggest ones wasn't even when all of a sudden Ben Simmons was gone. It was more so playing with Joel Embiid, learning to play with Joel Embiid. And then there was one point years ago there where Joel Embiid left a game, or was gone for a while, about 9 games with COVID. And over that stretch, Tyrese Maxey became a totally different player. He was already challenged by having to take over the point guard responsibilities, despite being a position he hadn't played. When Ben Simmons was moved on, before even Ben Simmons was moved on to the Nets, when he was still just in limbo here with the Sixers. And Maxey steps up and plays some solid basketball. Then Joel Embiid goes out and Maxey goes to another level. Embiid comes back, Maxey goes back down a couple of pegs. I remember my point at that time being this guy needs to realize how talented he is so he could keep bringing it every single night and doesn't play almost a subservient role, although in some cases necessary, but more of a subservient role to a guy like Joel Embiid. And now, without Paul George, without Joel Embiid, for whoever knows how much longer that's going to last, Tyrese Maxey is taking upon himself to make sure that this team doesn't lose. And this is going to be the next great step in his career. And these are 4 games, 4 wins in a row. But he's been doing it throughout the month of January, which is what's so impressive. If you go back to the first month of the year, technically October, when the Sixers played 5 or 6 games that month, Tyrese Maxey averaged 31 points per game during that stretch, all right, the start of the season. January, he's averaging now just under 30 points per game in the month of January, with another 30-point performance tonight. That's pretty special. That's a guy that is refusing to let his teams lose basketball games. Then you see him go out there tonight, and he helps his team to the victory again, 30 points. He gets 8 assists on the evening on what was a great, more on that in a second. What Tyrese Maxey was able to do in the assist category, what the Sixers team was able to do in the assist category, it was all beautiful. You do not see nights like this from the 76ers often where they get 30 assists, and Maxey had 8 of those. So you love to see that from him. All in all, he was up and down the court, and when he had to be clutch, especially in the later stages of the game, if the Kings were coming up and starting to put a run together, Maxey would come up, driving layup, get fouled, go to the line. That was one thing I didn't check tonight. He was 9 for 9 from the free throw line last night. 5 for 5 tonight. Not as many trips to the line as I would have liked, but 5 for 5 for Tyrese Maxey. So first and foremost, Tyrese Maxey gets all the adulation that he is so deserving of. Another 30-point performance and leading his team to a 4th straight win. And in those wins, he leads the team each and every time to another win. Number 2, it's a guy that I don't even think I have mentioned this season. And I couldn't even tell you what his previous high was. But Kyle Lowry actually logged 26 minutes tonight. He actually logged 26 minutes. He had 13 points for the Sixers, and he too had 8 assists in those 26 minutes on the court. I have not been high on Kyle Lowry this year. I wasn't that high. Once they signed Eric Gordon, I thought that was going to be it for Kyle Lowry. I mean, how many plus 35-year-old point guards / shooting guards are you going to have in this lineup? And they kept him around. The last time Kyle Lowry scored 13 or more points in the game was November 4th against the Phoenix Suns. And that game was in Phoenix, so I doubt many people remember that. Of course, he has been dealing with his injuries most recently, but 8 assists tonight. He also pulled down 5 rebounds for the Sixers. The 38 years young, soon-to-be 39-year-old in March, Kyle Lowry, came off the bench tonight to help the Sixers in that's the flu talking in miraculous fashion tonight. Knocked down a 3 there late in the game, which obviously helped out his numbers a little bit. But overall, I love the hustle that you saw from him. And you saw the guy tonight for the first time in a long time in Kyle Lowry. And this is what is more amazing to me than just the numbers. The numbers are the numbers. That's fine. But what really stuck out to me tonight about his performance is this is the Kyle Lowry that we hated, that we absolutely hated with the Toronto Raptors. This was the guy that was that thorn in the side, trying to start something, trying to be ultra competitive, obviously, but trying to get in the head of his opponent. And whether it was a little thing down low where he was able to get on Domantas Sabonis on a play that I think knocked his contact out, Sabonis' contact, not Lowry's, or it was just him just trying to, all of a sudden, as a guy who is 6 foot in thick shoes, a guy that was trying to play down there with the 6'10" guys. That was the guy that I hated that played for the Toronto Raptors. That's, though, the version that I want for him to be here in Philadelphia. That's the version of Kyle Lowry that I want, and he was that guy tonight. The Sixers absolutely knew that they were going to get out-rebounded tonight. They got out-rebounded by about 12. You got Sabonis on the court. Your best rebounder is going to be Guerschon Yabusele. It's going to be Adem Bona, who actually stepped up again tonight. More on him later. You're going to get outboarded, and the Sixers certainly did tonight. But you needed everyone to play tough down low, and Kyle Lowry was certainly one of those guys tonight. So I love that performance tonight by Kyle Lowry. Number 3, let's get into him again. Ricky Council IV. He was playing himself off the Sixers roster. Justin Edwards, who again gets another start tonight, his second NBA start in as many nights. He's in the starting lineup tonight. Again, you have Ricky Council IV coming off the bench. For the second straight night, Ricky Council was one of your better bench players. I find it to be a very easy guy to root for. I think I've referenced before a conversation I had with Jameer Nelson about a year ago about how who's like the assistant GM or the GM of the Blue Coats now, about how Ricky Council needed to work on his outside shooting. Well, you see him go out there tonight. Ricky Council, 3 of 6 from the floor, mostly around the rim. 1 for 3 with a nice corner 3 in the early goings of the ball game. Only shot 2 threes on the night, but 13 points, got to the foul line, and converted all 6 of his free throws for points. There was a clutch moment where they really put him on the spot. And this came, was it in the third quarter? Third quarter. 42 seconds left. Hard foul on Counsel. Now, I should probably preface this by talking about what happened about 2 minutes earlier in the game. Ricky Counsel gets a swipe and a steal, forces the turnover, I should say. I don't think he got credited with the steal, but swipes the ball free and ends up in the hands of, I believe it was Kyle Lowry, who dishes ahead on a seam route, if you will, to a streaking Ricky Counsel, the fourth, who then put in a gorgeous reverse slam. That was a pretty nice moment there for the Sixers. Put the Sixers up 85-80. It brought the Sixers to within 85-82. So then 2 minutes later, the Sixers have already established a 2-point lead, if I'm not mistaken. Ricky Counsel, the fourth, gets another opportunity to get a huge dunk with about 42 seconds left in the third quarter. DeMar DeRozan says, not this time, and pulls what is later ruled and confirmed to be a flagrant 1, sending Ricky Counsel to the line for 2 technical free throws, which he hits. This was a big moment. So the Sixers then are now tied at 87. Ricky Counsel makes both free throws. Then Reggie Jackson knocks down a 3 on that very same possession after the Sixers got the ball back, and that ends up being a 5-point possession, and the Sixers take an 89-87 lead. From that point on, the Sixers controlled the game. I don't know if it was a chip on their shoulder for what they saw happen between DeMar DeRozan and Ricky Counsel, or if it was just as simple as we're getting our 4th straight win tonight. And after that, the Sixers were in control, whether it was Kelly Oubre knocking down a 3, whether it was Tyrese Maxey getting a driving layup, whether it was Guerschon Yabusele coming up with a big rebound, whether it was Kyle Lowry knocking down a 3 himself. That Sixers team at that moment, they were not going to lose the game. And what really jumps out to me overall about this win is that it was after a back-to-back. The excuses were there. Another night without Paul George, another night without Joel Embiid. They had just had a huge win over the LA Lakers. Tyrese Maxey just had a huge win himself over the LA Lakers with another 40-plus point performance, and they're going nuts, and everyone's having a great time, and the Eagles are at the game, and the stadium was rocking because LeBron's there, more so than not. And then tonight they come out with the exact same effort. And there was one little part this game tonight that I was a little bit concerned about, and it was in the first quarter. The Kings start out on a great run, but the Sixers come bowling back, and they end up losing the first quarter by 2 points, 30-28. If they didn't have that surge in the first quarter, I would have been concerned about the way the rest of this game was going to go, because I thought maybe they come out flat, maybe they come out tired from last night. Big win that it was. Anytime you beat LeBron, it's big. Also, your 3rd straight win, all that. So they came out, and maybe we're a little sluggish, or maybe just the Kings were just hitting their shots. But when the Kings started to miss, and when the Kings weren't converting on their possessions, and they weren't getting as many rebounds, and they weren't throwing the ball around the perimeter as much, and they weren't getting all the assists like they did in the early goings of this game, and then later kicked that into high gear again, the Sixers pounced. I wasn't expecting that pounce. And towards the 5-minute mark, 4-minute mark of the first quarter, they started to pounce. And I thought, they do have energy. Oh, Maxey does have it going tonight. Oh, Kelly Oubre is going to be something. Oh, Guerschon Yabusele is not going to be taking any crap tonight from Domantas Sabonis. Not that I don't want to paint the wrong picture. Let me just say this. For all that I love about Guerschon Yabusele, Sabonis had 13 points tonight. He had triple-double. He finished with 11 points, 14 rebounds, 13 points. 13 points, 11 assists, 14 rebounds. So by no way did Guerschon Yabusele have his way with Sabonis. But he was by far the Sixers' best option. It wasn't going to be pretty, but he tried to play as much bully ball on Sabonis as possible tonight to limit the damage. To not control it, but limit it as much as possible. And that's what he did tonight. And really overall from the center position, we'll get into this in a second, but overall from the center position, the Sixers got really good effort tonight. We'll get into that in a second. But when it comes to the Sixers overall in tonight's game, there was no lag after that first quarter, and they kept on coming. The start of that third quarter that I mentioned earlier, where the Lakers were able to, or excuse me, the Kings were able to start out on a really solid pace and take that, what do they open it up? in that third quarter. They opened things up 19-8. They started things off in that third quarter with a 19-8 run. They actually opened up a 12-point lead in that quarter. In total, they went on a 24-6 run. Eric Gordon, unfortunately, had a turnover for the Sixers at around the 6-minute mark. It ended up being a turnover to Ellis. Ellis then drives down. He gets a corner three. It makes it 80-68 in favor of the Kings. Sixers would chip away after that, and they came right back. Really, that wasn't a result, I didn't think, of effort or energy. I thought more so that was a result of the 76ers just not being able to play strong defense. But late in the game, they clamped down, and they brought that defense to the Kings, and the Kings could not respond. They also forced turnovers, especially in the later stages of this game, to make sure their lead stayed intact. When we come back, I'm going to highlight a little bit more of those guys off the bench that helped the Sixers to a win, including one guy I've been tracking for the last couple of games. Certainly need this guy to step up, and I know Kate Scott during the hometown broadcast here in Philadelphia referenced what this kid's future could hold. We'll talk about that in a second. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On 76ers postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Back after this. Game Time app. Yeah, that's right. Today's episode is brought to you by the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app and create an account. Use promo code LOCKEDONNBA and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Attending the NFL playoffs, if you did, you had a great time. Attending a basketball game, oh, baby. Maybe even the Super Bowl. Game Time app has you covered. Talk about attending playoff games in the NFL. How much fun was that? Going to any NBA game, going to a hockey game, whatever the case might be, Game Time has you covered. You can share all the good times that you have. Right now, I can remember the energy of going to a Sixers playoff game, and the Sixers look like they're headed for the playoffs again. Let's do it. But Game Time has a new feature called the Game Time Picks feature. That means when you open up the app, you create an account, use promo code Locked On NBA on the Game Time app. You could filter out all the fluff by using the Game Time Picks feature. That makes getting tickets even easier to all the events that you want to go, whether it's a game, a concert, or even a comedy show. Game Time Picks feature will filter out all the fluff so you see exactly what you want to see. The best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. So you don't have to waste time literally filtering through thousands of other tickets. Excuse me. Pick an opening game or pick a game. You can browse through all the information and just with Game Time Picks see exactly what you want to do for the best possible price. I recently used Game Time Picks to find tickets for an upcoming NFL game. Had myself a blast. Browsing through the deals, simple and easy, and most of all, efficient. Found great value for all kinds of seats around the venue. Super deal was especially impressive, offering the best value for the event. The app's features like seat views before you buy and all-in pricing as well, so there's no surprise fees at checkout. How great is that? You toggle the all-in pricing feature, you know exactly what you're paying before you check out. The experience is smooth and very easy. Plus, the on-time ticket delivery and lowest guaranteed price always gives you peace of mind. So you take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the redemption code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Here's what I got. Adem Bona tonight. Now, I mentioned that the 76ers went into tonight's game needing a center to step up. Guerschon Yabusele got you 28 minutes tonight. He made you 1-3, got you 9 points, he got you 6 rebounds, all of them on the defensive side of things. He also chipped in 3 assists with 1 steal. All right, that's what he got you. Adem Bona played 19 minutes tonight. Went 2 for 2 from the floor, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, including 1 on the offensive glass, and 5 points. The 7 rebounds is what I'd like to see a little bit more of from Adem Bona. And one of the things Kate Scott talked about during the game was how many opportunities this guy's going to have to be able to pull down those boards, but also get posterizing dunks. I forget who it was for the Kings tonight, but Adem Bona tried to just sail over top of him. Instead, he ended up getting called for the charge. But Bona goes up there, tries to throw it down. It would have been a highlight reel dunk. It would have been, without question, a poster. He got up, missed the dunk, but got called for the charge. I don't care. And I'm going to echo the sentiment that Ala Abdelnaby used on the broadcast, and I think the same exact thing. I don't care. I want to see that aggression from Adem Bona. I want to see no apologies when he goes out there and plays. Use your toughness, use your strength, use your size, obviously, and use your athleticism. He's a very athletic 6'10 center. Go out there and show off your athleticism, show off your size. Let him build up his confidence. Even if he's not converting on that, let me see more of it. Tonight, did what he could against Sabonis. It wasn't great, but it was a start. And the Sixers need all they can get from any center not named Andre Drummond, who's not playing, and certainly not named Joel Embiid right now. It's tough picking. I mean, think about your starting lineups. I know people want to talk about Nick Nurse. Oh, what's Nick Nurse going to do? Oh, Nick Nurse sucks. Whatever. I hear people talking about the head coach. I'm like, what's your suggestion here? What's your suggestion? And this is removing for a second that they've won 4 in a row, because whatever. What's your suggestion with this lineup? You got Kelly Oubre basically playing like a power forward. All right, his size is like a poor man's Tobias Harris, okay? But his production, obviously a rich man's Tobias Harris. And that's what you're getting from him. You're having Eric Gordon, Tyrese Maxey, and Justin Edwards in your starting lineup as well. That does not sound like a recipe for success when it comes to going up against one of the best centers in the NBA in Domantas Sabonis. Yet the Sixers found a way to win this game tonight. And although I forget, I don't even know the total of I'll get it to you. The rebounds tonight were heavily in favor. I want to say it was about 12. I think I referenced that earlier in the show. I think it was about 12. The Sixers got out rebounded by tonight. And still, they found a way to get everything going for themselves. Rebounds, 11. 46 rebounds for the Kings, 35 for the Sixers. Now, here's where the Sixers really helped their cause. They're one of the worst assist teams in the NBA, and they got 30 assists tonight. That contends for like top 5 in the NBA, if not the number 1 spot. This is off the top of my head. Then when it came to shooting, you want to talk about efficiency? The Sixers shot 8 fewer shots than the Kings tonight, and they made 42% of their shots compared to the Kings at 44%. 3-point shooting. This is where the Kings lost their game. Other than Sixers' great defense, and their defense goes into this, and in the later stages of that fourth quarter, especially with under 4 minutes, the Sixers really locked things down. From Kyle Lowry to Kelly Oubre to Guerschon Yabusele under the basket, everybody started locking all windows and doors, in the words of my man Mark Zumoff. But this Sixers team tonight held the Kings to shooting 10 for 41 from beyond the arc. That's 24.4%. in 3-point shooting. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. Love to see it. Up next for your 10-9-8 76ers. And by the way, let me just one more time remind you that this particular episode is brought to you by the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. That's promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. One more peruse of the box score here for your 76ers. I mentioned Bona giving you 19 minutes tonight. Reggie Jackson, another clutch performance tonight, by the way, for him. He's been playing a lot better as of late. 17 minutes logged tonight. Also hit you a clutch 3, as I mentioned, in that 5-point swing that the Sixers had in the later stages of the third quarter. He did that on his way to 9 points on the evening. I don't even think I've mentioned Ricky Counsel's point total, but 13 points for him in the 29 minutes that he logged tonight. 3 of 6 I did mention, and Adem Bona finished with 5 points tonight. That's the way that worked out for your Sixers. Let me get to the chat check and see what you guys have to say about that. Oh, we got some trash talk going on here. Larry Kunkel. Hello, Larry. FYI, the Knicks win again. Go New York, go New York, go New York. Philly's trash. Wow, thanks there, you, Larry. Thank you. Good to see you. Saquon's an Eagle. Saquon's in the Super Bowl. I don't know. Watch you be a Jets fan. Or you're probably a Cowboys fan. Sound more like a Cowboys fan. Anyway, that reminds me. On tonight, the Bulls lost. The Bulls lost tonight, 122-100 to the Boston Celtics. So the Sixers are now, I think thanks to the tiebreak, they're still the 11th spot. But they are both, the Bulls and the Sixers are both 18.5 games out of first place. So, hey, Sixers get a little run here. It's a good things can happen. All right, cross my fingers for that. Farzy can't bench the bar. Hey, Farzy. Hey, what's going on? Farzy can't bench the bar. What if you have to listen to Travis Kelce sing "You Gotta Fight for the Right to Party" while holding another Lombardi over the Eagles? I won't like that. I'm going to go ahead and hope that doesn't happen. But thanks for putting that in my head now. Nick, what's happening? How are you, Nick? Mark, are you excited for another season of Bohm at the Why am I'm getting baseball questions. I appreciate my loyal Locked On Phillies postcast people. This is Sixers. I got it's our Sixers. I got to talk about the Sixers. But to answer your question, no. Oh, man. Fighting the good fight, people. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate you chiming in. Elliot, Bulls lost and hope still lives. There you go. 10 seed, here we come. Thank you, Elliot. You're the man. Appreciate you. As for your 10-9-8 76ers, what do they got coming up next? They're going to be off till Friday. So after the back-to-back, they get a day off. And they'll be taking on, I believe it's the Denver Nuggets at 7:30 on Friday night. Sixers now 19-27 on the season. The Nuggets are 28-19 on the year. That's a 7:30 tip-off Friday night in South Philadelphia as the Sixers continue a long home stretch. Now, I will say Joel Embiid was warming up before the game. He was shooting around a little bit, did a handstand. What was it, Sunday or Monday? I don't think he's going to play. But why not hold out hope? Why? Speaking of hope, Elliot, why not hold out hope, right? So Sixers are back at it 7:30 Friday night against the Denver Nuggets, who come to town. Earlier in the season, Joel Embiid not playing in the game. The Nuggets handed the Sixers what I think was their worst loss of the season, 144-109. That was terrible. That was a god-awful performance. And if I can find it, I will be happy to rattle off. This is my Eagles notes. That's something different. No. All right. I was trying to find my notes for you guys. But no, that was just a dominant spanking by the Denver Nuggets, unfortunately. That's the show, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you guys. Holding out for handsome hero. Elliot, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's funny to me. That's the lyrics from Bonnie Taylor. Oh, I guess. I don't know. I'm in. Whatever. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzez. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On 76ers Postcast. Be back with you guys Friday night to talk about the Sixers versus the Nuggets. Be back with you guys then. See you then. Bye.